What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 134th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. My name is SBJ, and with me today I have Will.
Just me and my peanut butter paradox.
Just you. I was thinking about doing a different intro, but then when I just went into it, like, it was natural.
It's straight, ready to go.
Ready to go. 134. No Travis, he is sick. And Will and I decided to do this last minute since we weren't able to record because we were both watching the Super Bowl.
By we both, you mean you and Irene? Because I did not watch a single minute of the Super Bowl. I haven't even seen a Super Bowl ad.
You didn't miss much on both ends. This is the first time I watched a sports game all year. And I mostly watched for the commercials, and they weren't that good. But I got free food, so... Not that the commercials gave me free food. I was just at a place that provided food.
Well, if you retweet that Esurance thing, maybe you could win $1.5 million worth of free food.
Is that what? I saw that. I didn't retweet it, though.
You and I are probably like the only people in the world who haven't done it.
We have the best chance of winning.
You know what? I got a better contest than Esurance. If people follow and retweet Pokemon Podcasts, then we'll follow them back. And isn't that worth more than its weight in gold?
That is quite the reward right there.
We will give them tips on healthy living, and you know what? Your health is your wealth in this world.
That's right. Did you listen to the last show? Travis made sure to get our healthy living out of the way.
He got it completely wrong.
He did get it a little wrong.
Just so people are not misinformed, veggie pasta, as people like to call it, where it's like green because there's spinach or red because there's tomato mixed in. They just take vegetable. Not oregano. That's the seasoning. That's not a vegetable. We've had this discussion, Steve.
Yeah, but I like oregano.
It's delicious, but it's a seasoning, not a vegetable. When I go to
Cousins, I get a ham and provolone with oregano. And it's good. No lettuce or tomatoes, though. No bueno.
Well, baby steps. Maybe go for the lettuce without the tomato.
Oh no, I can't handle lettuce. It's just like putting paper on your sandwich.
No,
I'm not a munchlax here. I can only eat.
I'm just. This breaks my heart because seriously, the other night I was eating one of my favorite salads, which is beets with almonds and some kind of think goat cheese or something, but it's served with field greens, and I was eating the field greens with no salad dressing, and I was like, this is like dessert to me. These are the most delicious lettuce leaves you could possibly imagine, just like every flavor explosion in my mouth. Doesn't he have a banana chin?
He does. Tropius is I would eat a Tropius. I would munch on Tropius's bananas and possibly use his... That sounded way worse than I wanted it to, but we'll go with it. Mm-hmm. And possibly use his wings/leaves as salad lettuce.
Have you ever had field greens?
No, I have not, but I know what they look like because I used to work at a restaurant.
You should try them.
And
you should a little bitter in there, a little sweet. So good. And then put a little vinaigrette on top. That's living.
If you are a new listener, this is actually a Pokemon related show.
You keep trying to bring it back.
That's right. If you are a new listener, my name is SBJ. I've been hosting the show for the 134 some episodes. I've only been missing on a couple for whatever reasons, and Will has been on the last 50 or so episodes.
Not that many.
Not that many, but quite a bit. We usually have more people, but it's just us, and so that's why we talk about eating Tropiuses. But in today's show, we just have some news and we have some user reviews. We're going to keep it a little bit short. We normally record these on Sunday, but the Super Bowl is on Sunday. It's like It's like a holiday. So we missed recording, but we're making it up to you guys tonight. And plus, if I do a shorter episode, I can cut and edit it faster, and then you guys can listen to it sooner. So that's our game plan. And with that being said, we will jump right into some news. First bit of news is Pokemon is now on Hulu Plus.
It's not on Hulu?
It's not on Hulu. I think Rise of Darkrai is on Hulu.
Rise of Darkrai is on every form of media you can possibly get.
Darkrai. No. Let's see. Maybe okay. This could be. Maybe I'm reading. I have the article in front of me here. It says everyone in the U.S. can now visit Hulu Kids. Is that new? Hulu Kids? I don't know. It could be new. But Hulu Kids has Pokemon Origins, the animated special that they removed off Pokemon.com, and they have the first 5 episodes from the Diamond and Pearl season. And then if you are a Hulu Plus subscriber, you can enjoy the first full season, the first full 10 seasons of Diamond and Pearl. No, I lied. I'm sorry. Diamond and Pearl is season 10. You'll get to see that.
Yeah, there weren't 10 seasons of Diamond and Pearl.
There are 3 additional seasons coming, season 11, 12, and 13. Those are coming soon. I don't know if those are also Diamond and Pearl. Possibly.
Well, it did kind of like mutate a little bit because they had that one series which the title really disturbed me, and they kind of started going like Pokemon DP, and then it was something else.
Pokemon Dr. Pepper.
Well, that's not what I think of when I think of DP, but let's keep this family friendly. Oh.
Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, and then Hulu Plus can also enjoy the 4-part Pokemon Origins animated special, Pokemon Origins.
Yeah.
Which maybe this is why they removed it from the site, which still doesn't make sense to me, because if you're signing a deal with Hulu, why would that affect what you've produced and made on your site?
Well, exclusivity.
Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like
you're a cord cutter, right? Do you pay for Hulu Plus?
I don't know. I don't have cable. Never had cable. I do pay for Netflix, and I buy everything else through iTunes. I could watch Fox every Sunday for The Simpsons, but I just buy the season pass for The Simpsons, and then I just watch it on Mondays. One, because Simpsons are super rewatchable, and I watch Simpsons every night before I go to bed, so that's worth it to me to have it in HD and just keep it when it's done. I do that for other shows as well, but do you pay for Hulu or Netflix? I feel like everyone has Netflix.
I only pay for Netflix because I'm afraid of the number of DVDs my ex didn't return, and I'm just concerned that the actual charge that, since they were rare Korean soap operas, the actual charge to me if I canceled for replacing those soap opera DVDs would be more than just keeping the subscription and not ever using it.
Does Netflix have like a priority or a hierarchy of Korean soap opera?
They have a selection of rare Korean soap operas, which, if you are unaware, the Koreans do make, the South Koreans, I don't know what the North Koreans are doing, but the South Koreans do make the finest soap operas you could possibly want. You laugh, but I challenge anyone to say that there has ever been a greater television epic than The Grand Chef or Be Strong Gunsoon.
I'm not going to argue.
You're good.
I'm not going to argue. There is, we already said this, but you can see the Rise of Darkrai on Hulu Plus as well. I recommend this movie to watch with a group of friends who like Pokemon, because even though the story is not that good, it is really funny. Like, not joke funny, just what happens is funny. I don't know if you saw Rise of Darkrai.
I still haven't seen it.
You have a chance. I mean, you could sign up
for us to get together.
You could sign up for a free Hulu Plus trial.
No, because I always forget to cancel those, and then it's like one more thing. I paid for AOL for about 5 years after I didn't even have dial-up internet anymore. This is a serious problem. Okay.
Oh gosh. Yep. So if you are unfamiliar and you just want to actually look at the Pokemon stuff, because maybe you're unfamiliar with Hulu, you can go to hulu.com/Pokemon. That'll get you right there. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed they didn't go with Netflix, but maybe it's cheaper to sign up with Hulu. Who knows? Who knows? Will, didn't you go to some pre-releases? There was some
I went to 3 pre-releases.
Some X's and some Y's that you paid for.
Lots and lots paid. What was the total I paid in pre-releases? $85. 2 full pre-releases at $30 each and $25 for a draft. Yeah, I mean the new X and Y base set is it's really cool because as a base set, they kind of plan it as let's get people started in the TCG, and then some of the item cards are interesting, and some of the new supporters are interesting and different than things you've seen before. Obviously not Professor Sycamore, or Tierno, but like Red Card is cool. Do you know what any of these cards do?
Yes.
So Red Card forces no matter how many cards your opponent has in their hand, they have to take their hand, shuffle it into their deck, and then they can only draw 4 cards. So, if they have like 10 cards and you're like, oh my God, they can do anything to me, you Red Card them down to 4.
And I believe in the game, if your Pokemon is holding Red Card and gets attacked, it forces the Pokemon that attacks you to switch. Yeah,
it gets kicked out, right?
Yep.
And then one of my favorite new supporters is Cassius. And Cassius, like my mom plays Pokemon, and I was like, Mom, do you know who Cassius is? And she's like, I have no idea. And I was like, every time you go to the freaking computer, Mom, that's the dude.
Whoa, you just blew my mind.
You didn't know that?
No. Where do they tell you that he owns the PC?
When you go to
Is he one of the thugs in the underground roller skating?
Oh, no. When you go to Camphor Town, in the upper right-hand corner, he has... You know where the Chateau Chabonneau is? I think that's what it's called. Or Maison Chabonneau, something like that.
Yeah.
He's in that town, Camphor Town.
Oh, okay.
And he's just... You go into his little house, and then there's like this huge server rack. And he's like, yeah, I made the computer. The professor paid me to put together the computer system, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, his supporter card.
He looks like a thug up in this card.
He does look like a punk. I know several punks, and none of them have star-shaped hair sprouting out the front of their heads. Either way, his TCG card, when you play it as a supporter, you can pick up any of your Pokemon that you have down and everything that's attached to them and shuffle them into your deck, which I like because I like to play Victini EX, which is a card that you want to play at the beginning of your turns, but you don't want it hanging out later on after your opponent gets powered up. So that allows you to sort of pick up Victini EX and anything else that's attached to it, put it in your deck, and then you don't have to put it down again, so it's not at risk anymore. But it's not a good card, as I discovered, for people who get depressed easily. Like this one girl I was playing against misplayed twice, where she could have beat me twice, but she misplayed and didn't. And eventually she just, I had her down to 1 Pokemon down, and she played Cassius. And she's like, I was like, well, you automatically lose. And she's like, yeah. So it's like the suicide card.
Ooh, it's so sad.
It's really sad because she could have actually beat me if she hadn't played Cassius. Oh, but she just so was ready to give up. Oh, it was sad. But there's Yveltal EX, which is cool, and Xerneas EX, which is interesting. He's a fun guy to play. There's now there's all the new fairy cards and fairy energy.
I have not been to a pre-release in about a year. The listeners know that I used to be into the TCG all of 2012 pretty heavily, but not so much last year, and this year just started. But would you say that the pre-release scene has gotten better when it comes to people bringing their 3DS and Street Pass and Pokemon X and Y, or is it just still primarily card players?
I had tons of Street Passes. That was no problem. Lots and lots of people brought their 3DSs and X and Y. I mean, lots of people are playing X and Y. Even people who are like not really into the video game and just into the card game are playing X and Y just because it's such a interesting new experience and fun. So yeah, I got tons of street passes from that. So I could play all those other street pass games that I really regret paying money for.
They're not bad.
Oh, Force is terrible.
Force is really hard.
Because I can't do arcade stuff.
Yeah, maybe we're both bad at video games, but Force is pretty hard. The tower, the haunted house, that one is sweet.
Well, yeah, and it's fun because I don't know if you realize, but I set up my old 3DS, and I actually need everybody to friend me on my old 3DS friend code. So basically, I just street pass myself constantly, at least twice a day. And because my old 3DS guy is wearing the same color shirt, I get lots and lots of tiles that are the same color.
Right, yeah.
So I can make these huge rooms and get all the treasure chests and everything.
Cheat system.
Nintendo a little bit of cheating. But also, just talking about 3DSs, I had a realization this morning because I started to play... I put Pokemon X into my old 3DS just so when I get street passes. Here's a little secret. If you have a cartridge for Pokemon X and the digital download for Pokemon Y on the same 3DS, you only get the street pass credits for whichever game you claim them on first. And then it sort of wipes them out so you can't get them on the other game. So since I carry both 3DSs with me, what?
I said, whoa.
Yeah, see, you can't get double street passes. But anyways, Pokemon X is the first actual 3D game that I played on my old 3DS. Everything else were just regular DS games.
You can play those DS games coming to Wii U soon.
Well, if I had a Wii U.
That's right.
But I don't, so...
Speaking of other things coming soon, Pokemon Bank, that thing that existed.
As I predicted, I don't remember if I predicted on the podcast or like on Twitter, which if I predicted on Twitter, it's lost to time now. But I think I said somewhere February 7th.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal here is. So for those of you who... live under a rock and are unsure of what's happening with Pokemon Bank, it got delayed back right after Christmas because of the surge of all those Wii U's being activated. And Japan originally had it, got pulled. Japan then got it again about a week ago. They silently got it rolled out again. And at that time, we got a tweet from the Pokemon Twitter account saying that there will be news, probably a week prior to Japan, there will be news coming about Pokemon Bank. And then as of today, February 4th, that rolled out to the United Kingdom, Australia, and the rest of Europe. And about an hour after it rolled out, the Pokemon Twitter account tweeted, the Pokemon Europe Twitter account tweeted that it was live. And then a couple hours later, the official America Pokemon account tweeted that Pokemon Bank services are available in Europe. North American trainers will be able to introduce their Pokemon to the Kalos region soon, which is probably, I would assume, in the next week or so.
Yeah, it depends on what day they schedule their regular Nintendo eShop updates. So do you know what day that those typically come out?
Typically Tuesdays or Thursdays.
So if it's Thursday, then
6.
Which is the 6th, but if they do it at midnight on Thursday, then I win.
You do win. Yeah, so we don't know when it's coming for sure, but probably soon. I'm assuming that America got it last because that would see the biggest influx of traffic compared to Europe, so they probably wanted to add Europe to it, make sure it was stable. They could probably roll it out right now and be fine, but they're probably going to wait a day or two. Just that's what you normally do when you're adding heavy workloads to a server. Is you usually play it safer than anything. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. People can do bank and stop yelling at the automatic Nintendo and Pokemon bots that pre-tweet for them.
Yeah, you know what I say about people who like yell at Nintendo because of the delays in Pokemon Bank?
It delays it even further.
No, it's the angrier you are, it's because the number. It's because you have more hacked Pokemon in your X and Y or Black and White games waiting to transfer through Pokemon Bank. So the more anger you show, the more proof you're demonstrating of like that you hack fake Pokemons.
That could be true. It was actually really funny. I think it was like shortly after Japan got Pokemon Bank. What really irritates me are the people who tweet or who Facebook anything not Pokemon related that Nintendo or the Pokemon Company post. Like, oh, Bravely Default is coming out February 7th, and somebody's like, it's not Pokemon Bank, where's Pokemon? And it's like, oh, check out this new Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze trailer, but where's Pokemon Bank? Those people are the absolute worst. So, I'm sitting at work. I follow a fake Reggie account. It's like NOA_Reggie, and then if you click on it, it says like, this is a parody account. And he always he tweets pretty funny things. And he tweeted something like, every day you tweet at me complaining about Pokemon Bank, I delay it one day further. And so I double click to see the at replies, and there's just there's probably a dozen or dozen to 20 people tweeting at it, either laughing or then complaining, being like, this is stupid, Nintendo's the worst company ever, give us Bank now. And I was like, I'm going to troll some of these people. So I at replied 3 of them with the same exact thing. I was just like, just to let you know, this is a parody account and you're complaining to really no one. One guy didn't respond. The other guy was like, oh my God, I feel like an idiot now. And then the last guy was like, well, my point still stands. Pokemon Bank should be here, blah, blah, blah. And we got into it for a little bit, but that was pretty funny that the one guy was like, I feel like an idiot for replying in a parody.
Yeah. For believing a parody account.
Yeah, so that was super funny. So we'll get Pokemon Bank in a week or two, and then we'll probably just tell you that Pokemon Bank's out and then not really talk about much because you're just moving over Pokemon that have existed for the last decade into a game.
Exactly, right?
Really what there is to talk about. Great, you could breed these and get new abilities that we already know about because we all look at Bulbapedia. There's no secrets here.
That just reminded me of something that happened to me a few weeks ago where I tweeted when I finished the Kalos Pokedex, I got the 3 crowns, and I tweeted, "Oh, they can open Pokemon Bank now because I finished the Kalos Pokedex." And somebody replied back, and he's like, "Where is this documented? Show me proof." Obviously, I'm just joking, you idiot.
Man, people are serious about Pokemon Bank.
But it wasn't even somebody who followed me. They were just doing a search for Pokemon Bank.
Oh, that's the best.
See who mentioned it.
That's the best. While we were all waiting for Pokemon Bank, Pokemon.com got a huge redesign.
Obviously, where they were spending their time.
Obviously, because the people who make Pokemon Bank are also web designers. And they also know how to run Twitter accounts, so that's why the delay in Bank was happening. No, obviously, those are 2 separate teams, but Pokemon.com, if you check it out, it has been redesigned. I think this was one of the most majorly different redesigns we've seen in probably, I want to say, 3 to 4 years.
It's been quite a while, yeah, definitely.
So if any of you listeners are design savvy, there's this term called flat design, and it's been around for probably the last 1 or 2 years. But it's very popular nowadays, and it's what iOS 7 for Apple's iPhone is based off of. So
But not for the iPad.
But not for the iPad's flat too. But I was going for the general public here. Other things have flat designs. It's not like Apple invented this design. It's been around for a while. But Pokemon.com is flat designed, and it's just the style that we're in. I'm sure, in 2 or 3 years there'll be another design phase that everyone will jump on and do. But flat is in right now. And I don't know what your thoughts are, Will, but I actually really like the new site a lot. They got rid of all their Flash, and it's all like HTML5. If you go to minimize their website, it minimizes and scales proportionately. Things.
So it's like responsive design.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm cranky old man. So I had a few problems. One, I was looking for where's the frickin' login button.
Sign in right on the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side, it used to be in the upper right-hand corner. All right, so that's a major shift. You didn't give me an arrow that says log in over here now, dude. I wasn't looking on the left-hand side.
What happens if you make it smaller? Where does the sign-in go?
It probably just stays on the left because it's a float.
Yeah, it stays on the left.
It floats as you scroll.
It stays on the left. Unless it's like more iPad side, then it does jump back up to the right.
So then, and then my other issue, I have two other issues. One, in the old site, all of the content pointers, I want to get to information about, episodes, TV episodes. I want to get information about mini games. I want to get information about the main games. That was all what I call above the fold. When you first loaded the page, you could see pointers to all of those different content areas. Now they have it so that you actually, the page is broken into sections, and you have to scroll down for different sections to appear. So, the top section is an introduction, here's Pokemon.com. You scroll down to the next section, and it's like, here are TV episodes. Then you have to scroll down some more, and it's like, here are the mini games. So if you don't know to look for those things, you're not going to find them. And then the worst crime of all, I check my rankings in the world's rankings for TCG every single day, and the way you used to get that was you would log in, and then there was a side menu, and it says search ratings and rankings, right?
Yes.
Well, they have broken that menu where you actually have to click on your you have to click like you're going to edit your Play Pokemon settings. And then after you're on the edit screen loads, then you can see the search ratings and rankings.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, they've kind of broken that menu bar and dropped that menu option when it should be apparent from the first load. But that's super technical web design complaining, which I'm sure not everybody is obsessive about finding out that they're number 3 in DC, on a daily basis like I am.
I do think that overall this whole site is easier to navigate, and for a new Pokemon person, it would make a lot of sense. I mean, me and you and I and the listeners might disagree, but that's only because we were looking at the same site for the last couple years, and this is a little different. But
so what I would say is, do you remember? This is going to make me cry. The original Pokemon website.
I do.
Because pretty much all it was a Pokedex.
Yeah, it was a Pokedex, and they had some stuff about the card game, rarely anything about the video game. And even what they did have about the video game, it was like if you had a player's guide, you were going to get so much more out of that player's guide than you were the actual website. The thing I remember the most about the website is only like the mini games, which now if I click on play games here on Pokemon.com, it looks like they have a ton. Like, I don't remember any of these. I remember playing like 1 or 2 of these originally to like get a new avatar. But now the avatar system is actually based off of your Play Pokemon account.
Yeah, it's completely centralized too. So if you make avatar changes on the website, it carries into the Pokemon TCG Online.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. It's cool to see that they're kind of merging everything together into like a universal account. And I know like Global Link was always kind of one step away from that too. So hopefully that kind of gets merged together as well. I mean, I don't think this is any steps back. I think this whole redesign was a couple steps forward, actually, and show that Pokemon actually cares and they care enough about web design to make the site responsive. So that's pretty.
Yeah, and to modernize it. That's. I mean, it's definitely a step towards modernization, but possibly at a loss to traditional navigation.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think that's the worst. I think if you're like 9 or 10, this will come naturally to you. And if you're a parent, you're probably like, what is going on right now?
Well, and also in a touch/tablet culture, your expectation is to scroll. You know, it's not to find everything on that initial launch page and to navigate through pages. You want to actually scroll and swipe your finger and spread disease, getting your dirty hands all over everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at what Pokemon has done, we got a brand new game in, October? We got Pokemon Bank a couple months afterwards, even though if America doesn't have it, it still exists. It was still something they're working on. We're going to get it in a week, so don't even complain about it anymore. We got Pokemon on Hulu. We got Pokemon Origins, which is also now on Hulu. We got all the soundtracks in iTunes. Well, most of the soundtracks in iTunes. And we have a brand new website to look at. On top of the daily maintenance they do with the Play Pokemon Online, that's a lot for a single company to do in really a short period of time. Props to Pokemon.
Hopefully they're hiring even more people so we can go work for them.
That's right. And their Twitter account, which is pretty spot on, tweeted about the new design too. So I think that's pretty much all we have for news. So what we'll do for you guys is we'll take a quick break, and we have some user reviews to go over, and we'll kind of wrap things up for you guys. Hey guys, why isn't there like a sock Pokemon?
There is a sock Pokemon, isn't there?
If I'm not mistaken, isn't there like a sock on Garbodor, like hanging there?
Wow, that's not a separate Pokemon all on its own.
Well, I think there's a sock there. Like, you're looking for a connection, and I'm providing you with the closest you're gonna get.
This is the closest sock connection we're gonna get here.
No, but this is, once again, a perfect example of how Travis is always wrong. Have you ever heard of a little Pokemon called Shuppet, which is basically a sock turned upside down?
It's a puppet.
Well, how do you make puppets, Mr. Rich Man? I make puppets by sticking my hand up a sock and going wah, wah, wah.
Maybe I stitch them together with felt, Will. Maybe I'm a craftsman. No, a craftsman would be with, like, wood or something. I don't even know what the word would be. You can know that I'm not that.
Socks, wood, craftsmanship. This podcast is brought to you by FootCardigan.com. Foot Cardigan delivers one random pair of crazy... They deliver a pair of random crazy socks to your mailbox every month.
Use the code POKESOCKS, that's spelt out without the accent on the E and all lowercase, to receive your 20% off your Foot Cardigan Pay Once subscription. Now we're offering $2 shipping to anywhere in the world.
How do you spell it, Travis?
POKESOCKS. Gotta give me
cool. Every month, they put the surprise back into your mailbox and fun on your feet. Foot Cardigan socks are a great gift for anyone, even for yourself. Now that that stupid December holiday is over, you can buy things for yourself again.
There you go. Will, didn't you post a picture of your said socks?
I believe I did when they came in the mail, and I'm going to be getting another set this month at some point.
The accidental alliteration in Steve's sentence was mind-boggling. Didn't you post a picture of said socks?
It was
Saturday, Sunday, and
Yes, it was a mystery because I checked my mail on Sunday because I only check my mail once a week, and there they were in the mailbox.
And how do they feel on your feet?
Saki. I have worn them about 5 or 6 times, and they are very comfortable, and I've always worn them at the most inappropriate of times.
Perfect. Perfect. It is the dream your feet always wanted. If you want inappropriate, comfy, crazy socks, get started at footcardigan.com today.
It's Pikachu! Pikachu!
And we are back from our break. Dun dun dun. We've been doing this new thing where we give you guys a shout out if you leave us a review on iTunes. And Travis didn't do it last week, obviously, because I didn't tell him to do it, so he didn't do it. And that's no fault on him, that's fault on me. But we have a stack of reviews to go over that's probably going to take us more than 5 minutes, and we want to recognize the people who took time out of their day to leave recognize. Before I get into that, I want to pimp myself out if I can. There's what is called the Shorty Awards. This was something that Pokemon Podcast has run for this would be the 4th year. And Pokemon Podcast has always won the #podcast unofficial award because prior to last year there was no podcaster award, and this year being the 4th year that we're running, those unofficial categories like podcast aren't really a thing anymore. Like, you can still do it, but no one's really competing, probably mostly because there is a real podcast award now, and it's #podcaster. So we got a couple votes in there. We weren't really directing people to that, but that's pretty much the way of the buffalo. No need to do that anymore. So that'll be cool. That Pokemon Podcast will get recognized in that for the 4th year, but it's unofficial, so it's not the greatest victory in the world. But I ran for podcaster last year and got 738 votes or something like that from you guys, because you guys are incredible. And I placed 2nd place, and then I took home a Shorty Award, as I tweeted in my pictures if you follow my Twitter account. And doing the same thing this year, going to try to stay in the top 4. That's what needs to be done. Right now I am 2nd with 230 some votes, I think. And the person in 1st has 300 votes. So with a couple weeks left, I think it's still doable to make it to 1st, especially since last year I had over 700 votes. So if you haven't voted, now would be the time to do it, because we're running out of time and I don't want you to forget. So if you're listening to this and you're not driving or riding a bike or paddling a boat, you can go to shortyawards.com/draggingalake, which is my Twitter handle, DRAGGINGALAKE. And you would just say, I nominate at Dragging a Lake for a Shorty Award in podcaster because, and then put whatever reason you want. It just has to have a reason for it to count. Or you can just tweet what I just said. I nominate at Dragging a Lake for a Shorty Award in podcaster because blah, 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 blah. That'll also do it. And that will give me a vote. And that's all you got to do. It's like 22.3 seconds out of your day to do that. And if you like the show, that's all I care about.
You just care about the popularity.
I just care about the popularity. No, you guys are super awesome, and we try to do this show, every week for you guys and make it funny and make it awesome. We don't beg for money or anything like that, and we don't run ads on our site anymore. And so if you are thinking about giving back to it, this would be a great way to do that, because it's super easy. It's better than sending us money. We don't want your money. We don't want your Poké dollars.
I don't want their money. I just want their love.
We got a lot of love in the iTunes reviews here. And I don't even know where we left off last time. We got like 12 in here.
I don't know. I clicked the wrong button because I have this horrible thing. It's making me laugh. I've got the 1-star reviews in front of me.
Oh, those are the best reviews right there.
Not a fan. I came into this podcast expecting to hear people who at least had some common knowledge about competitive battling. Then I heard the co-host suggest Quick Claw.
Claw guy. He's the best. I hope he listens.
No, the best one was horrible podcast. This could be one of the worst podcasts ever, let alone the worst Pokemon podcast. Try any other Pokemon before this one. Horrendous.
That guy's also spot on. That guy is
Quite. All right, I switched it over to most recent.
all right. I found where we left off last time, because last time we ended with the road trip one.
Which one? It's the one where we didn't kill the person, right?
That's right, where she was she or he was falling asleep at the wheel, and they thought we were funny and then didn't die. So this is titled "Awesome" by Silkum, something like that. Slickum, yeah. I just lost it right now. Okay. This is a great channel for any Pokemon fan and great for recent and upcoming events. Also, I have a shiny Spinda that I recently caught, and I am willing to trade it to any of you who mentioned it in the show.
Well, you just mentioned it.
I just mentioned it.
So it's going to Steve.
I guess.
Which is weird, because I was actually, like, I am not kidding. I was contemplating what a shiny Spinda would look like earlier today.
They're the best. They're like green. They're the green.
Do the spots randomize just the same? Right, Spinda is the one that has the random spots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does randomize the same. Silkum, if you're still listening, obviously, because you reviewed our show, you can hit me up on Twitter, and I can trade you something really cool for that shiny Spinda if you want to trade. That's all I got.
Cool. Do you mean Burmy?
I can trade you a Metapod or a Geodude. Those are really rare, right?
Yeah.
We have the next one is Amazing by Garchomp Rawson. This is the best Pokemon podcast ever.
All caps.
This is perfect for a competitive player who, like me, in both TCG and VGC. I love it and keep up the good work, from Noah Rawson. Thanks, Noah.
I appreciate that, Noah. And he also capitalized TCG and VGC.
He did it properly.
Yeah.
Next is Best Podcast by Jalen Watson. Hey guys, I love listening to your podcast on my bus ride to school and doing my homework. You've made me laugh numerous times. Thanks for being the best podcast. Thanks, Jalen.
1 out of 1 listeners found this review helpful. Perfect. That's cool.
That's cool. That is a good review. The next one is Fight by Poppin' the Goodra Bubble. I don't know what that means, really.
They don't.
Why is steel weak to fighting? Have you ever tried punching steel? It doesn't end well.
I think it's because...
well, thank you for the review, but we'll also answer your question.
Yeah, Poppin' the Goodra Bubble. I just think of, like, because steel can shatter. It's not, it's not perfect. It's not iron.
I thought it was like, when I think of it, I think of like Machamp being able to bend like a steel bar.
That's another way of thinking, but I was also thinking, like, if you're thinking of like Kung Fu versus Swordsman, Kung Fu is going to win because he's going to get in there, he's going to get the punches, and he'll dodge the sword and everything, while all the Swordsman can do is, like, not graceful swipes and stabs. But Kung Fu can kick and punch and jump and all that kind of stuff.
Or if you want, in your kitchen, you can hold up a pan and you can punch it. Like a cookie pan, a sheet pan, as they call it.
Which is the sheet pan? Oh, sheet pan? I've never... What?
A sheet pan? You've never heard of a sheet pan? It's like a cookie pan.
I've also never heard of an egg pie, dude.
Egg pie.
It's a quiche.
You could say quiche. I could say egg pie.
What are you afraid of? Do you feel your masculinity is threatened?
No, I just think I just like saying egg pie. I think it's funny.
No, it's wrong. It's a cookie sheet.
A cookie sheet.
sheet.
A cooking sheet?
A cookie sheet. It's where you take the Pillsbury Doughboy and slice them into slices and stick them on a sheet and make cookies.
Not that that's steel, but it's like steel. And I feel like if you punch that, you could at least leave a mark.
Yeah, you put a dent in that.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
All right, the next one is Mega Ditto by PokeFun. I've been listening to your podcast for a year. Love it. And my favorite part has been the conspiracy that AZ is a Mega Ditto.
Did I miss that episode? Unless that's in like the forums or something.
I don't know if it was something I said, but I questioned the fact that maybe AZ isn't human because he's lived for 3,000 years. That's what I was spitting. Because no one else in the Pokemon mythology or whatever, like, there's not like another person who's lived like 200 years. It's just like only AZ.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. No, not at all. That was just my thought process at the time.
Well, I mean, my assumption... so I haven't gotten this far in the Pokemon X story, but in the Pokemon Y story, his machine is powered off of, like, the souls of Pokemon. It kind of, like, absorbs their life. Is that the same in Pokemon X?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, so he took all of their life energy and sucked it up into himself so that he could live for longer. So him and his little Floette. Floette, the most perfect Pokemon ever.
Floette, yeah. There you go. Next is Amazing Pokemon Podcast by Jadsero.
There's an I in there, so I say Jadicero.
There we go. This is an amazing podcast about Pokemon. I have played the game since Red/Green, or rather Red/Blue, and I'm still playing to this day. SBJ and the Pokemon Podcast crew bring me fun, entertaining, informative Pokemon podcasts that I truly enjoy. Thanks, guys, and keep up the good work.
This dude is really confused, isn't he?
What? He's not confused.
Thank you.
Maybe he imported green and red, and then in English, he got red and blue. Maybe he's from Japan.
No, I thought he was confused about the fun, entertaining, informative.
Oh, yeah. You got the wrong show here. We don't do any of that. Next is best podcast in the history of podcasts. This is a stretch. By Make a Wish It's Jirachi. That's a pretty sweet username.
He has a little emoji star at the end of it.
He does. Oh, or she. The best podcast to listen to when playing Pokemon. I would give it 100 out of 5. Super funny. And it's just about 43% Pokemon, 5% ponies, 2% memes, and 50% of Will being salty and how amazing as Daryl is.
Daryl is not amazing. It's a freaking blue egg.
And just love how much SBJ butchers 99% of Pokemon, 99.999% of names in general. Keep up the great work, and I'll keep subscribing. Thumbs up. I don't think that... Oh, his thing did equal 100. I was like, did that equal 100%? Maybe not. I would say we're not 5% ponies. I would say 5% of our episodes have ponies in, but there was no ponies in this episode.
We haven't talked about ponies.
That's right. We could talk about Don't Starve, though. Man, that game is sweet. Actually, I am going to talk about Don't Starve. It is on sale right now for Steam. It is 60% off. That's all I'm going to say about it.
So how much was it originally?
$15. And now,
so at 60% off, it's what, $6, $7?
Yeah, it's like $6.78 or something like that. It's super cheap, and if you play anything on your computer or you play on Steam like the rest of the world, except me, I don't play on Steam, you should get Don't Starve because it's 60% off starting today, and I just realized that. So get Don't.
And it has old timey music, right?
It does. It has a good soundtrack. It is a good creepy soundtrack. So it's a fun game. Moving on, Great Price / Value by Sigs81. Do you enjoy young men giggling while they talk? Ooh, not young.
It's like, wait, what?
Will's definitely not young.
Hey,
I'm pretty old. Debatable. I'm starting to get gray hair, guys.
You are not.
I have like one gray hair. This is what 25 does to you.
Don't pull it, dude.
Don't do it.
If you pull one gray hair, 10 more come to its funeral.
Is that what they say?
That's the truth. Look at my head, dude.
Do you enjoy young men giggling while they talk about Pokemon for approximately an hour each episode? If so, you'll be happy with this podcast. The different audio levels on people's voices and getting stuck off topic. See Men's Health Journal episode are my only gripes. They cover everything from casual Pokemon Poke fans to VGC level strategy. Keep it up, guys. Thanks, Sigs. We do get off topic, and we are working on that audio program. Well, let me talk about that audio program. I used to use a program called Wiretap Studio. You can hear it in like the first, I think, 80 episodes. And for the most part, those episodes were pretty balanced because Wiretap Studio let me do that. This new program, Audio Hijack Pro or whatever I use, no bueno. It's okay. I mean, you're listening to us now. But it's not the prime program I like to use. So if anyone has suggestions how you can record Skype and locally, you let me know. Otherwise, I will try to fix the audio levels in future episodes. I think this episode will sound fine. As for Men's Health Journal, I don't got an answer for that.
Your health is your wealth. We care about you, the totality of your person, not just your Pokemon obsession.
We could talk about My Little Pony instead. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm actually not caught up.
Oh, I'm certainly not caught up. Please, I just watched the Paris Breaks episode.
I'm so far behind. Oh, you know what's good, though? The new Powerpuff Girls. Have you watched that?
No, I've never been, like, except for the one Beatles episode, I'm just not a huge Powerpuff Girls
fan. The Beatles episode's really good, and there's a Big Lebowski episode of the Powerpuff Girls, which is really
I hate the Big Lebowski.
That's so good.
You made me watch it. It's like there's some things that you and I will never agree on. The Simpsons, the Big Lebowski, and other things.
What's your gripe about The Simpsons?
Boring.
You just haven't done the
not enough nudity. Dude, I've been watching The Simpsons since you were like 3 years old.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Let's see. Next is really useful for new information. This is a good podcast. I listen mostly for the Pokemon video game news and tips. These guys really know a lot about Pokemon. Sometimes they're silly, but they usually stay on topic. Very clear and easy to understand. Good sound quality and really informative. This is completely opposite of the last video. I personally like the competitive tips and the news, but they cover everything. 5 stars. Thanks. The Real J Harvey is his username.
Because of his positive review, I want to give a tip. If you are trying to catch Articuno, Moltres, or the one in the middle, what's the Zapdos?
That yellow bird.
All right, so you know that every time you walk through one of those connecting tunnels between like a town and a path or something like that, it switches locations.
Yes.
I'm talking post Elite Four, X and Y. Spoilers. So there is one town that connects to 3 different routes without going through a tunnel. That's Santaloon. So what you can do is you go to Santaloon, open up your Pokedex. You have to have seen either Articuno, Zapdos, or Moltres once. But once you've seen it once, you open up your Pokedex, look at the entry, and it'll flash red with whatever route that bird is currently on. So if it's on one of the routes that's next to Santaloon, you can just walk around in the tall grass. Eventually you'll encounter it. If it's not in one of the routes that's next to Santaloon, just do fly, but fly right back to Santaloon, kind of like you're just doing a loop in the sky over Santaloon, and then check to see because it will then move to a new route. And then you can just keep doing that very quickly over and over again to see whatever bird is in your game 11 times, and then after 11 times, it shows up in the Sea Spirit's Den, and you can catch it. That's your tip for the week, folks.
Tip of the week. Next one is PKRS. I don't know what that means. By Pokerus? Oh, duh. By D Losing Streak B. I think it's just losing streak, but there's a D at the one end and a B at the other.
Yeah, it's like you used to put XX for straight edge, but that's just DB.
That's very 2006. It's like a Poke party in my ears, and everyone's invited. They remind me of my favorite Pokemon. It may not be the best. There is no difference between the normal and shiny colors. Everyone prefers the evolved form, but there will always be a spot for it on my team. Oh, I see. He was obviously saying we remind him that favorite Pokemon are great. What are you laughing?
I don't know. It's kind of like he's like, well, they're mediocre, but I like them anyways. Oh.
You call us mediocre? Oh.
Well,
Losing streak. Thank you for your review. Next one is I love the podcast for tips and leading a healthy life by Mulama Fox.
Moo, I'm a fox.
Moo, I'm a fox. Oh, I see. I thought that was an L.
He's claiming that the fox says moo.
I see. I get the joke. Love this show. This show is the very best. Like no show ever was. Sing the rest of the song. I wish I could be on it, but I know the chances are slim. I comment on the site all the time, and I'm on the forums both as Moo, I'm a fox, and I'm subscribed to the channel as The Fox Says Moo. Well, this is very clever. I also like the Facebook page and frequently comment and message. I've got 2 other people to join and like the cause. Keep up the great work. We at the factory love to hear this podcast when we do hard labor.
We're keeping America strong, man.
Keeping America strong at the
pro-union.
I didn't know we were in with the unions, Will. This is
the AFL-CIO and all them.
This is good news. We're reaching out to new outlets, taking the unions by storm. Thank you, Moo, I'm a fox. The last review we have here is a Magikarp It Ride to Awesome. That's a pretty good title. By Tom Kid. Tom Kid.
Not gonna try.
That's the best I got. I started playing competitively as of late, and though I am older, parentheses 30, I have a lot of catching up to do. This podcast makes things really simple for me. Is this your review, Will?
No, because I'm older than that.
The discussions about anime, movies, card games, etc. really tie together the walks of Pokemon. Keep up the great work. You have turned me into a loyal listener. Well, thank you. Your magic carpet ride joke was fantastic.
I think it was quite wonderful. We should do an episode where we just review the mini games on the website.
Ooh, we should. Oh, somebody gave me a good recommendation for an episode. It's on the Facebook chat. I'll have to look it up again, but it was good. If you want your review and a shout out given on Pokemon Podcast, just leave us a review on iTunes. We are at 348 reviews. We are 2 away from 350. It's a pretty big milestone. So leave us a review and we will read it on the air, and I will butcher your username. And then you can insult us, and then we'll laugh, and then we'll probably make fun of you. And then we talk about Pokemon again, eating bananas off Tropiuses. That's what we do. We should do a Pokemon of the week, but I wasn't prepared with the Pokemon of the week.
Well, then I will select the Pokemon of the week, and it's going to be Oddish.
Okay. Oddish. Well, I don't think we've done Oddish.
It is another delicious Pokemon that you can eat.
It's like a radish, right?
Yeah. Except it's Oddish, not Radish.
That's right. It is considered a weed Pokemon. All right. Pokemon Oddish.
I know some of the Pokemon of the Week editors like weed.
Yeah, everyone likes weed Pokemon. Weed-like Pokemon. It evolves into Gloom at level 21, and then can evolve into Vileplume when exposed to a Leaf Stone, or a Bellossom when exposed to a Sunstone. This is me hoping that Gen 7 will give me dual evolutions again. I kind of dig that.
Where it can be one or the other?
Yeah. I like it.
I mean, yeah, it gives you like the choice, but I mean, eventually you're gonna catch two Oddish, and one's gonna be a Vileplume, and one's gonna be a Blossom.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I don't know if there's really any thing we can read. We can say Oddish lives in grasslands and forests. They roam extensively at night, sowing seeds and searching for fertile, nutrient-rich patch of soil to plant itself in. It remains planted throughout the daytime, leaving only its leaves exposed to the sun in order to avoid predators. What Pokemon eats Oddish?
Me.
You? Anyone who likes radishes? If removed from the ground, it will let loose a loud scream. While Oddishes absorb most of the nutrients from the soil during the day, it can grow by absorbing moonlight.
So it's kind of like a mandrake root.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's kind of like a mandrake. Because you're supposed to pick them at night? I don't know. There's mandrakes in Don't Starve. You're only supposed to pick them at night. Pro tip. They're very.
I thought if you didn't have, well, that was Harry Potter.
There are mandrakes in Harry Potter too.
Yeah. And then if you see an Oddish walking around, it goes Oddish. Oddish. It's so cute. I love them. I want one as a pet.
There are no good trivia facts. Bulbapedia. Oddish can be seen as a parallel to Bellsprout. Both of them are grass poison from Gen 1. They both have 3-part evolutionary lines, except for adding Blossom. They both use the Leaf Stone. Oddish was exclusive to Pokemon Red and Fire Red, and Bellsprout was exclusive to Pokemon Blue and Leaf Green. There you go. Oh, in the origin it says Oddish is most likely based off of Mandrake.
And a cutie, and a shiny Oddish is bright green.
Oh, and then the name origin says Oddish is a combination of odd and radish, a vegetable. In parentheses, a vegetable. And a pun Oddish, meaning somewhat odd. Oh, I get it. Like, this is odd. Huh. Interesting. I don't know if we suggest a moveset for Oddish because no one would ever possibly pick an Oddish, and then we can't suggest it for Vileplume because then we would have to suggest one for Blossom.
Wait, I can give you a moveset for Oddish. Have it learn
Moonlight,
Sweet Scent,
Grassy Terrain. That's a new move. Have it learn that.
And
Toxic is usually good.
Toxic, yeah.
And if you breed it with a Cacturn, is that what they're called? No, the baby Cacturn. Cacnea. If you breed it with a Cacnea, it can learn Teeter Dance, which is the best move in the game.
If its dad is a Cacnea, that's how breeding works.
There you go. Teeter Dance is like it's like if Quick Claw was the best held item in the game, Teeter Dance would be the best normal type status move in the game.
So if you have an Oddish with the egg move Teeter Dance and have it hold a Quick Claw, it's basically undefeatable.
It's undefeatable. It's absolutely undefeatable. It could take down a Talonflame easily. You Teeter Dance it, you Toxic it, do a little Moonlight, you win the battle.
It's pretty sweet.
Boom. That's your moveset.
I'm going to the Pokemon World Championships with a team of Oddish.
Nothing but Oddish. I think that's all we have for you guys today. That's pretty much it. We said a shorter show, but I think it ended up being about an hour.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I'll just cut all the bad parts out, so it'll be about 20 minutes.
Yeah. 20 minutes of shout-outs and reviews.
Shout-outs, reviews, news. We covered a lot. We made up some ground. Will, where can they find you?
Well, I've been more active on Twitter, so go right over there to at Wash in the Sink, WASHINTHESINK. And probably I'm going to be shouting up my Facebook as we get closer to Pokemon Worlds, since I still unfortunately live here in Washington, D.C., I'll probably do something for people who are coming to Worlds. But there's more to come on that later.
More to come. Speaking of more to come, Pokemon Podcast will be at the Midwest Gaming Classic, which is in April. I think like April 15th. This will be our 4th year that we will be there. If you want to come out, hang out, it's a all weekend thing. There's pinball and arcade games and vendors that sell you overpriced copies of Pokemon Yellow still in the box. And there's us. We will be talking about that as the months approach, but it is in Brookfield, Wisconsin, which is very close to Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
How close is it to Wauwatosa, though?
Wauwatosa, it is about 10 minutes away.
Okay.
It's very close, very close. So we'll be talking about that more. Recently, I just found out that I will be speaking as a presenter at C2E2 for the 4th year in a row, which is very exciting because as C2E2 grows bigger, it is very, very hard to get a panel there. I was fortunate enough to fill a room of 180 people last year, which was like 95% of the seats they provided. So hopefully we can do it again this year. C2E2 is the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo that takes place in Chicago. And that will be the end of April. I don't know the exact dates, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And of course, as we get closer to that event, more details will come. And finally, just another reminder that the Shorty Awards end in about 2 weeks. So if you haven't done so, please vote. Otherwise, like always, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/PKMNcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Pokemon Podcast. You can check out our website, pkmncast.com. And my name is Steve SBJ, which is at Dragging a Lake on Twitter. Otherwise, Will.
Well, what?
This has been another episode
That's it.
of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
Salty effective.
super salty effective. Good night, everyone.